So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Mars in the third house in the sign of Pisces for Capricorn Ascendant people. As in, what happens when Mars is ruling the 11th house? Oh, I'm sorry. Ruling the 11th house and the 4th house. Okay. And it's in the third house in Pisces. Oh, look. We have Penny. Hi, Penny BB. So, and as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with all your astrological details, you can check out the links here, Astrology.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultations, and link to my academy, Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where especially you will find all my courses on wristwatch and wealth, and my Cares vlogs, where I uploaded the November horoscope, my Nadi courses, okay, Dasha courses, Vedic astrology, everything is there. So, when Mars is in the third house in Pisces, okay, one thing you will see that one keeps going around the same form of desires over and over again, chasing one particular thing over and over again. And usually you will see this is a particular position where even the elder sibling or the younger brother, they keep chasing a particular goal that they feel like they're moving forward towards, but they're not. They're going around in circles. The other thing, anytime you have conflicts, and you will have conflicts, especially with neighbors, colleagues, it'll be the most undefined conflict, meaning you cannot find out the reason behind why this conflict occurred. You keep searching into like a dark room. Why did this fight happen again? Why did this conflict happen again? On the other hand, this also shows that a person after your birth, definitely mother and the family would have moved to a faraway place. Whether it was foreign lands or far away from your home, those things would have happened. The other thing you will see, anytime you go near the ocean, or let's say you take a cruise, suddenly a person becomes motivated. There's this natural motivation with this particular Mars that awakens. Ocean awakens these things. The other thing, it's a very imaginative Mars. And Mars does not like being imaginative. Mars wants logic, Mars wants statistics. But the thing is, the inspiration of Mars, it's only going to come in when it uses a particular sense of imagination to accomplish a certain goal, a mission. Like what happens is you want to become successful, right? These are those people that need a vision board. You know, like this is what I want to become. This is what I want to be. That helps them motivate. But one trick here is this with your desires. Desire the opposite. That's a trick. Desire the opposite and you get the opposite results. For example, you're going into a competition and you're like, God, please, my desire is I want to win this competition. I want to win this battle, this fight, this sports competition. Usually, if you think like that, you get the opposite result. But the moment you say, you know what, God, I'm ready to lose. I want to lose. I want to see what losing is like. I want to see what it likes to be defeated. I really want that. I'm going to go in there and give my best, but I want to lose this battle. And you see, the opposite becomes true. You tend to then win those battles. Mars, obviously in Pisces, in the third house, makes a person on the imaginative sense can make a person a very good writer, because Mars is ink. And what are we using for? Writing, drawing. And especially you will see in a female's chart, the husband is going to have too many desires. And a husband will think on a, again, like I said, on a more imaginative plane. And you as the spouse will be like, okay, here we go again. Another big dream that a person will not tend to know how to follow those particular dreams and goals. Like there's always a needingness of direction, and that direction comes through a mentor. When Mars is in the third house, your husband needs a mentor. Your husband needs guidance to achieve that particular mission and goal. Usually Mars, okay, in the third house will show that the spouse will either love being in any kind of transportation, shipping, supply chain management related like work, or especially they can, if let's say Saturn somehow impacts this Mars. Besides being an athlete, of course, one can also go into being a mechanical engineer on ships and yachts and boats and submarines. Like especially a person who will decide that I want to go and I want to be in the government. Somehow, some way, they will end up being a Marine. Even if they, let's say, wanted to go for being a soldier, they'll end up switching or somehow get transferred into being a Marine. Then, especially when conflicts with the neighbors come. Okay. Conflicts with the neighbors will come based on your own imagination. Neighbors looks at you in a certain way, says something, and in your imagination now you start thinking, oh my God, this is what they mean. Oh, this is what they are trying to do. And now that conflict gets created based on the misinterpretation of the signals. That's what usually will happen. Misinterpretation of the signals takes place. On the other hand, whenever this person begins to speak tough and wanting to be logical, somehow starts logical, but ends up in some kind of a imaginary la la land, which may be logical for them, but for the other person, they will not be able to understand why this person is talking about all these things, because there's no way to prove these things. There's no way for them to give any logic to this. Okay, so on one hand, when a person goes into any kind of an action related to imagination, it works out well. When the logic sets in, that's when things get lost with this particular Mars. Okay, and usually you will see if you have a younger brother, it's always better for them to be in a foreign place, in foreign lands. You want to purchase a property, you'll have a hard time purchasing a property in your own home base unless you go 400 or 500 miles away from where you were born. And especially you will most likely have a south or west facing property. But also, on the other hand, this Mars will create imaginary conflicts with father. Again, everything is based on this non-understanding. It's like the situation is just so vast. You can't figure out, and neither the father will, how did this conflict start. You will also get into conflicts, arguments, fights with your maternal aunts and uncles, relatives, okay, based on the fact that everybody else is logical and you're more spiritual, you're more transcendental. And you won't be able to somehow handle why with that surrounding that you're in and why things are happening in that way. Because you're going to desire to change that. And in changing that, you keep going around in circles, thinking you're moving forward, but then you're still in that same spot. And you know where this Pisces, planets in Pisces naturally do well, especially like Mars energy, focusing on certain type of breathing meditation, like where a repetitive technique is required. If you were to do those repetitive techniques, you will see suddenly you begin to change everything around you. Because again, Pisces Mars will take action in repetitive action. Usually if these people start working out, they will do very well building muscles because they'll keep repeating same action. It's like the action is not going anywhere. It's just up and down, but then it begins to build. So this is why it's very important for this Mars to do certain type of breathing practices, like for example, Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is a repetitive action of the breath. And by doing such things, this Mars began to elevate in its precision of attaining that goal, precision of attaining that mission. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Mars in the third house for Capricorn Ascendant people. And again, my Cares vlogs have the November horoscope, which you can also find at this link or in the description. And otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.